September 15th, Pantanal Reserve. Dear Diary, today I witnessed something incredible that made me believe in the true connection between all living beings, even if they belong to different worlds. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in fiery red hues over our Pantanal Reserve in Brazil. The vast emerald wetlands stretched to the horizon, creating a wild yet breathtaking picture. I, Moko the Capybara, was sitting by the water's edge, watching as day turned to evening. In this peaceful setting, I noticed a family of jaguars, a majestic male and 4 females, silently moving in search of prey. I quickly hid in the tall grass to avoid being seen. We capybaras are always on alert when jaguars are nearby. The magnificent male, with his gleaming spotted coat, led the family deep into the marshy forest. 4 females followed closely behind, their eyes burning as they tracked potential prey. I carefully moved behind them at a safe distance. Curiosity has always been my vice. Our Pantanal Reserve is famous for its biodiversity, but even here we face many dangers from poachers. Deep in the forest, they often set deadly traps for caimans and rare bird species. The jaguar family seemed unaware of the potential danger and continued on their way. Suddenly, the male caught a strange scent and immediately separated from the group to investigate it. At that moment, his paw suddenly got caught in a strong steel trap. The snap of the trap made the male jaguar roar in pain. The 4 females immediately rushed to him. They surrounded their leader, extreme anxiety in their eyes. I pressed myself to the ground, afraid to move, but couldn't take my eyes off the unfolding drama. The male tried to free his paw from the trap, but only made the wound worse. His roar turned into a groan of pain. The trap was designed for large caimans, so the clamping force was extremely powerful, making escape nearly impossible. Time passed. The male jaguar lay motionless, breathing heavily, his strength gradually depleting. The females did not leave him. They gathered around, trying to protect their leader. From morning until evening, the jaguar family barely moved far, only guarding and licking their friends' wounds. Evening enveloped the forest in orange tones, the wind rustling through the tree leaves. Suddenly, a strange sound broke the silence. It was the sound of Raul's truck engine, the reserve ranger returning home. He usually made a round before finishing his workday. When he heard a faint growl, Raul immediately stopped the truck to check. I saw him get out of the truck and freeze in place when he saw the male jaguar caught in the iron trap. Behind him were 4 females, warily watching the human. Assessing the situation, Raul immediately understood that this was a caiman trap set by poachers. I noticed how he became nervous. It was getting dark, and he didn't have time to return to the center to call for reinforcements. If he didn't save the jaguar immediately, poachers might return to check the trap and kill the wounded animal. Deciding to act, Raul prepared a tranquilizer gun just in case. He walked slowly, his hands raised high to show that he had no intention of attacking. The 4 female jaguars growled, but remained still and did not charge at him. The male seemed to understand that the human had come to help and stopped whimpering. Raul was very tense. Sweat was streaming down his forehead and back. I watched with bated breath from my hiding place, not believing my eyes. Capybaras rarely see such display of trust between humans and jaguars. He put aside the tranquilizer gun, deciding to act directly by removing the trap. The male jaguar's paw was swollen. Blood was oozing from the wound, looking very painful. Raul took a deep breath and moved closer to the jaguar. The females slightly shifted their feet, preparing to defend themselves. Raul gently spoke a few words of comfort, although he knew jaguars don't understand human language. I, however, caught the meaning of his words, thanks to my special ability to understand different languages, an advantage other capybaras don't know about. His hands trembled when he touched the cold iron trap. The trap was firmly attached to the jaguar's paw, the chain wrapped around it. He tried his best to pry open the hard steel joints, putting all his strength into his arms. Time seemed to stop. Every passing minute was precious for the jaguar. The male occasionally hissed in pain, but continued to endure. 3 of the 4 females seemed to want to come closer, but the lead female blocked them. Their eyes were fixed on Raul, half probing, half trusting. After about 15 minutes of fighting with the iron block, he finally managed to remove the trap. The male jaguar let out a powerful roar, as if to relieve the pain. The wound on his paw was still bleeding, but at least he had escaped the clutches of death. Raul hurriedly grabbed the trap, ran quickly to the truck to put it in the trunk. Then he returned, carrying a first aid kit. I stealthily moved closer to better see what was happening. He disinfected the jaguar's wound, using cotton to wipe away the blood. The 4 female jaguars stared, as if they couldn't believe their eyes at his actions. Raul cursed the cruel poachers while bandaging the wound. He carefully placed the bandages, trying not to cause the jaguar any more pain. Despite his fear of the unexpected, he still did this job with all his heart. The male jaguar lay still, his breathing gradually becoming more stable. Raul decided to give him an injection of a mild stimulant to help him recover quickly. The needle lightly touched the skin. The male jaguar startled, but did not react violently. Raul silently thanked fate that the jaguars were still calmly observing him. The sky gradually darkened. A cold wind blew through the forest, making him hurry even more. After the injection, he packed up his tools and returned to the truck. The adrenaline in his body had not yet dissipated. His heart was pounding with excitement. He looked back at the male jaguar. It was still lying there, its paw carefully bandaged. About 10 minutes passed. The medicine began to take effect. The male jaguar moved slightly, then slowly lifted itself up. He walked unsteadily, trying to adapt to the newly bandaged wound. The 4 females immediately approached, surrounding the male. The entire family seemed to breathe a sigh of relief when they saw their friend could walk again. Raul stood at a distance, carefully observing to make sure everything was okay. The male jaguar turned his head, looking at him with a strangely calm gaze. At that moment, I felt an invisible bond between the human and the beast. Although it was only a few short seconds, it was enough to warm Raul's heart, and mine too. Raul nodded, saying goodbye to the jaguars, gently retreating. The sound of the starting car engine broke the silence. He drove away from the area, not forgetting to look back at the jaguars one more time. The entire family stood still, watching the truck until it disappeared. I also watched the departing truck with my eyes, feeling warmth from this unusual meeting of different worlds. The sunset gradually faded, and the Pantanal wetlands plunged into a quiet night. From that day on, the memory of saving the jaguars was forever imprinted in Raul's heart, as well as in my heart, a little capybara who was fortunate enough to witness such a miracle. September 22nd, Pantanal Reserve. Dear Diary, a week has passed since that amazing incident, and every day I observe something incredible that makes me think about the deep connection between all beings in our reserve. Every day, I try to be near the road where Raul returns from patrolling. I am drawn to the place of that amazing rescue, as if an invisible thread connects us all. Me, Raul, and the Jaguar family. Something amazing happened today. I was sitting in my usual spot by the trail when I heard the familiar sound of Raul's truck engine. He was driving slowly, as always, carefully examining the territory. Suddenly, I noticed movement among the trees. It was that same male jaguar. His paw had almost healed, leaving only a small scar as a reminder of what happened. The jaguar did not come too close, but was clearly watching the truck. The 4 females were also hiding behind the bushes, alert but not attacking. I saw Raul smile. He realized it was the same male jaguar that was now escorting him. The next day, the situation repeated. The male jaguar followed the truck for about 5 kilometers and then stopped. As a sign of peace, he quietly observed and then hid among the dense bushes. I also followed them at a safe distance, intrigued by this amazing friendship. Raul seemed to believe this was the jaguar's way of expressing gratitude. Gradually, he began to perceive it as a special habit, helping him feel his love for nature more deeply. And I, little capybara Moko, became the chronicler of this unusual friendship. September 30th, Pantanal Reserve. Dear Diary, today something happened that made me feel like a participant rather than just an observer of this amazing story. I was sitting in my usual spot when Raul's truck stopped nearby. He got out, and to my surprise, headed straight for me. In his hands was a handful of fresh fruits. He slowly approached and placed the treat next to me, then stepped back, giving me space. I was confused. Had he noticed that I had been following him all these days? Cautiously, I approached the fruits and began to eat. Raul smiled, watching me. At that moment, the male jaguar appeared from behind the trees. I froze in fear, but the jaguar paid no attention to me. His gaze was fixed on Raul. The human and the predator looked at each other for several long seconds. Then, Raul slowly took a piece of meat from his bag and placed it on the ground. The jaguar approached, took the meat, and, to my amazement, lay down nearby to eat it. I couldn't believe my eyes. A capybara, a human, and a jaguar, all together, without fear or aggression. October 10th, Pantanal Reserve. Dear Diary, almost a month has passed since that amazing rescue, and now it has become a kind of ritual. I, Raul, and the jaguar family regularly meet in that same clearing. I no longer fear the jaguars, and they seem to have accepted me as part of this strange alliance. Today, I witnessed another amazing event. Raul brought a colleague with him, a young woman named Maria, also a reserve ranger. I saw skepticism in her eyes when Raul told her about his friendship with the jaguars. But when the male emerged from the forest and calmly approached Raul, her face changed. Disbelief turned to amazement, and then delight. "Incredible," she whispered. "I've heard similar stories, but never believed until I saw with my own eyes." Raul smiled. "Nature is full of wonders. You just need to be open to see them." And I, Capybara Moko, sat nearby thinking about how strange and beautiful our world is, where, contrary to all expectations, friendship can arise between beings that should be enemies. And so every day, Raul felt happy seeing the trusting eyes of the jaguar, proving the magical connection between humans and animals. And I continue to record this amazing story in my diary, so that someday the world will know that true friendship knows no boundaries or species barriers. With love, Moko.